Hey, hey, hey. I hope you guys enjoy these, what I'm calling podcast shorts for my Burnout to All Out community. This is just a little peek behind the curtain of the coaching that goes on inside of my programs. We're bringing to you some of the best nuggets and coaching I'm giving within hot seats of all of our different programs, whether it's our LinkedIn Method Academy, our mini mastermind business basics, all the way up to our higher level mastermind. If you're hearing some of these questions and you're like, man, I wish I could get my burning question answered by Melissa. Hey, guess what? You could be featured on my podcast. If you've got a question that you want answered and you submit it to my team and we pick it, we will bring you here to the podcast for our podcast shorts and do a hot seat with you. Where can you submit your questions? Send them to teamburnouttooallout.co. We'll make sure we drop that in the show notes for our podcast shorts. And I hope that you guys find as much value in these shorts as our clients do inside the program. Need some effective tactical advice that actually helps you get results and makes a real difference in your life and business? You've come to the right place. If you're finding yourself here today, it means you're getting ready to gain serious traction in your business, rapidly multiply your income and impact, and you're ready to make it happen while living all out. Guys, I'm Melissa Hinault, your trustworthy corporate dropout turned six-figure business burnout turned happy and healthy CEO of a multi-million-dollar online business. And you're listening to the Burnout to All Out podcast. On this show, we're serving up innovative growth strategies, simple implementation methods to put them into practice, and action-stimulating inspiration tailored specifically for the modern entrepreneur. Let's dive in. All right, let's go to Miss Tisha, who says, I feel like a runner who has been training for a marathon and the date is finally here. I'm all suited up and waiting at the start line. The marathon, however, does not have a map and I don't want to just follow the other runners. So now that I have my offer, I need a strategy to promote and engage so I can start building my connections and my community. Awesome. I love this question. Expand upon that, or do you just want to dive in?
No, actually, I think, just dive into that. And I do kind of have a follow-up that kind of ties into both what Darla was talking about and just group. So please. And I'm so glad that I put that question in the right group because I filled out a bunch of forms and sent a bunch of questions. I'm like, I don't know which question's going to get answered where, but here I am. So let's do that one.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So the question here is, I need a strategy to promote and engage. So I think this it goes back to brand development, personal branding. This is a great conversation. Chris Hardner just talked about this yesterday. And he said, it's a full-time job building your personal brand. It is a full-time job. And I know Louise knows this in the industry that she is in. It can't be overlooked. If we are going to leverage the internet to grow our businesses, we must have a brand strategy. And so now that, Tisha, you have your offer, as much as you may not want to hear this, what I would really highly advise you to do is, number one, go back to the training modules in LinkedIn that talk about the core pillars and revisit what are the core pillars that you're going to focus on a weekly basis. Because it's not just me, it's even my 8-figure coach who's doing the same fucking thing every single week. And because he recognizes how important it is that his expertise, authority, his thought leadership is forward and in your face. When we talk about that top of funnel, choose your funnel. For Chris, I don't know how many of you have opted into his text nurture, but he texts every day. His other top of funnel is his podcast that he produces it in. And then his third top of funnel is Instagram. And if you go, he's ever present in those 3 channels. And his message is very clear. He's building thought leadership. Same thing with me. And so what you need to do is take a step back and ask yourself, now that I have my offer and I know who my ideal client is, how do I create a compelling story of content that attracts them to me? And I think you and I maybe talked about this on a recent call. I think start with a primary A lane, and then don't try to perfect it on the other platforms, but be sure to spray it over there. Whether it's LinkedIn as your A lane and email marketing as your B lane, whether it's LinkedIn and podcasting, I find that if you're going to do a podcast, all that long form, we prepare for our podcast. I've got notes. They quickly can be turned into an email newsletter. They can quickly be broken down into content. Just my conversation with our marketing team on Monday gave me a swift kick in the ass about my own podcast, because the first half of this year has been a huge season of transition and growth and onboarding of team that I've neglected the content creation and the podcast. And the feedback I got from the marketing team the other day was, we get it if you want to record in batch series for seasons. We get that that's more efficient for you. However, and again, I kind of will lean into Louise on this. They're like, when you are recording these podcasts weekly, it gives us so much to build off of in email, with the social media. Everything that comes out of you becomes repurposed a cajillion different ways. And so that was a swift kick in the ass for me of, okay, I need to get back to recording my voice. That's why I just said earlier, I'm going to do an episode on being a mom in the summer, working from home. It can be turned into content on social media. It can be turned into a carousel that you swipe through, and it can be sprayed across all of social media. But I think that for you, it's about taking a step back and committing to a content order. So have you thought about what are your core pillars now that you know what your offer is that you want to stick to when you put content out?
So I think where I'm really struggling is that, so I do all the things. It's like I've done all the modules and I've done all the things, and I did my podcast, I did my email marketing, and I did all the social media pieces, and I'm on LinkedIn and all the stuff. And I finally said, to heck with it, stopped, figured out what I wanted to do, who I wanted to do it with, and it feels comfortable. However, now I feel, like I said in my question, I'm at the starting line and I have all these things flashing at me like, go left, go right, go straight, go. And I don't know where I'm supposed to be going. So I know what to talk about. I'm just not sure. Do I need to jump into my podcast again and make that a thing now? Do I have to make sure that I'm going to go do something on Pinterest now to do that as the thing now? And then I'm like, if I'm going to focus on my A lane, which is LinkedIn, and then building my email list, it's like the two things that are top of mind. I'm in all of these different programs. I'm in this amazing mastermind with all these people. I feel like there's all of these things. I should be creating a strategy and utilizing some of these resources and talents and things. And I'm just peeking in through a window. I'm not quite sure what to do with it. So that's really more of what I'm looking for, is how do I, other than going back to the lead gen stuff to figure out the specific tactical things, but what's my, I want to collaborate with everybody. I want everybody to hear my message. I want it all to happen, but I also don't want to work 27 hours a day. So
yes.
So that's but I need a strategy, because I feel like I'm just throwing stuff out there and some sticking, but I don't know if I want it to stick.
What is your current content strategy? What are you doing on a weekly basis to create fresh content?
Well, as far as the content, I have my themes, I guess, of what I'm focusing on. I've got my offer. I pull a lot of stuff out of the offer. I'm on LinkedIn every day. I hired a VA.
Wait, let me pause really quick. When you say you're on LinkedIn every day,
yes, I post every day and engaging. And Jackie told me that I have to start connecting. So I reached out with 10 people, which is so weird, but I'm trying to figure out how to get all that done anyway. So I did. So I'm doing that. I have my weekly email newsletter that goes out. I write a monthly newsletter on LinkedIn. And then I just kind of peep on everybody else's everything. I'm in all these different groups, even courses that I've been participated in the past. I'm still paying a monthly membership. Janelle and I talk about this too. Hey, I'm in that one too. I haven't been in there 18 months, but one day maybe I'll pop in and say, here's my thing. I don't know if that's what I should be using my time to do, or if I should just stick to your email list and just go all in on LinkedIn and let the rest of the noise fall out, and then just embrace the people that are here and say, how can I help them, and how could they help me, and utilize that and kind of create my hub. You have your group of people that you do your things with. I want those people too. And I'm not quite sure how to do that.
If you feel like you're screaming into the void when you post content on Facebook or Instagram, struggling to find a sustainable and scalable lead generation process that sticks, and you just want someone who's been there and done that to reveal their secrets, then it's critical that you register to save your spot ASAP. During this live masterclass, you'll get to steal the exact strategy I used to scale my income from $0 to 1 million in just 19 months without spending a fortune on ads or suffering from burnout. Simply check out the show notes of the podcast episode for the link to register for your free spot in the LinkedIn Lead Gen Masterclass. And don't worry, even if you miss a couple of days or you can't make it to all the training sessions, we'll deliver the replays directly into your inbox daily so you can watch them on your own time. All you have to do is make sure you sign up for the masterclass before registration ends. So I think you just hit the nail on the head. I heard you use the word going all in on, do I just go all in on XYZ? What I'm hearing right now is that you're spinning all the plates, but maybe not really spending a whole lot of time perfecting any of them.
Yeah.
And this brings me back to the build, grow, scale model, where build is that top of funnel, really, really strong swim lane of leads that are engaged and they're buying what you're putting out. And if we don't have one really strong swim lane that is proof of concept that there's high level of activity, we put an offer out, it's purchased, then it's not time to move on to the next step. And so I would highly encourage you to buckle down to your A lane. If it's LinkedIn, I heard you say you're posting, but is it falling on deaf ears? How strategic are you in growing the platform versus just posting? And I don't want to say just, because it's a lot of work to create the content and post. But if we're going in posting every day, but we're not strategically growing our audience, we're literally coming into the same people every day who've already not engaged or bought, and we're expecting a different result. And so you can't make a really good decision about whether your content's falling properly or not because you haven't grown the audience to make that decision. And so that's where I would say the reason our business was so successful, or my business when I was solopreneur all by myself, and Allie witnessed it because she was part of my direct sales team, but the reason my business took off is because I dropped all the noise and I went double down on LinkedIn. I'll never forget, everyone around me was like, are you fucking crazy? What are you doing over there? And I was like, I don't know, but I can't keep doing what y'all are doing over there. And so I just literally blinders on. I was like, I'm going to get relentlessly good at this. I'm going to relentlessly grow my audience. I'm going to relentlessly create content, and I'm not going to focus on anything else. And having those blinders kept me from squirreling and created massive momentum in my business. So although you're podcasting, although you've got the email, although you're doing all these things, are you fully committed to one? So here's your action plan. This is what I would encourage you to do is the work you've done on your podcast is not lost. I highly suggest not that you have to go create a bunch of new content. Go to your podcast episodes if you haven't done this already. Use them as your future content on social, as well as your content for your newsletters. So now you're not creating anything new. You're just pulling from stuff you've already put together, and spend that extra time growing your network like a wild woman on LinkedIn and focusing on growing your email list on LinkedIn. See what I'm saying? If you're growing your network on LinkedIn, you can put your freebies out there for people to opt into that's going to grow your email. Like focus on LinkedIn, but then it's going to spin out on growing your email list as well. You're growing your network there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I think that's kind of what my struggle is. I'm looking at this LinkedIn thinking there's a search. I got a bunch of words, and then I have my second and third connections. I just feel like I don't know how to really hone in, especially once I took away the opportunity to be able to send a comment with somebody that you're requesting. Like that just froze me. I'm like, I'm just going to like randomly click on buttons now. Like it just feels like there's so not a plan to it. And I know I'm not utilizing it correctly. I want to, but I really don't want to just keep typing in boy, girl, tall, short. Like I feel like I'm just throwing random phrases into the search, which isn't getting me anything. I'm spending hours trying to figure out 5 people that are actually on LinkedIn doing something. So like I feel like it's a waste. I'm not using my time the way I should.
Yeah.
Build what I need to. So yes.
Well, and so I think what might be helpful to piggyback on this is like hop on the next strategic advisory calls with LinkedIn, hop on the next group hot seats on LinkedIn, or even in Build, Grow, Scale, and get your name in the queue to brainstorm how you're going to more effectively and efficiently strategically grow your network using the platform.
Okay.
And I think that will help you as well.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate it.
thanks guys so much for listening in on today's podcast episode. And I can't wait for you to see my upcoming guest in the next episode. You are going to love this keynote speaker. Hey, here's the deal. If you liked this, please subscribe and leave a review. And you want the latest online business growth strategies and exclusive LinkedIn pro tips sent straight to your phone? Text the word update to 704-318-2285. That is, text the word update to 704-318-2285. Can't wait to see you guys. Come find me over on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you like to hang. I cannot wait to hear how you are enjoying and applying what you're learning. You guys reach out to me over on social because I love hearing what's resonating with you. When you reach out to me and you send me those personal DMs, they really do impact the content I continue to bring forward to you. So again, come find me, Melissa_Hinault over on Instagram, Melissa Hinault over on LinkedIn and Facebook. Can't wait to see you guys over there.